I'm Fr.Brian Cunningham. I'm from St John Fishers in Kersley, where we have the Shrine to Our Lady. In the last month in St John, in St Charles's, you've been looking at the Church's teaching on the family. You've looked at what Blessed and soon to be Saint Paul VI has said about humanity and the gift and wonder of life. You've looked at what Pope John Paul considered in Familiaris Consortio, and how his teaching on the family teaches us how to become a school of life. And now, today, we want to look briefly at what Pope Francis has written following the two synods in the family, where he talks about the joy of love, and he wants to establish that family, the way of family, marriage and family life, really is a gospel. The gospel of the family, as we said in the World Meeting of Families now in Dublin, is a joy for the world. It's interesting, right at the beginning of his letter, Amoris, Laetitia, Pope Francis says, for us, family are not a problem, they are an opportunity. Family is about the chance to create hope and joy for our world. With this in mind, Pope Francis is really wanting to create a new way of how the Church works with families. The document itself is totally interesting because for the first time, probably, we have a Vatican document which is about a pedagogical way. It's about the process of growth, the dynamic nature of marriage and family. It's about a process of growth which reveals to us something of the face of God. And that is very interesting. Cardinal Cupic, when he was considering this towards the beginning of this year in February, he gave a seminar where he said what Pope Francis was doing was asking us to change our mindset. That when we look at family, we should realise we are actually experiencing a gospel. Now there's two steps to that. Pope Francis is saying we should look at our experience and take it seriously, and then we should make that experience transparent to God's grace, and then it becomes a revelation of God's face in our time. The other Holy Father has many things that he wants to say to us. The first thing he tells us is that family mirrors who God is in the modern world. He talks about the Trinity being a bond of love of three persons, and the perfect or imperfect reflection of that in creation is the family. Secondly, he looks at how the family is a spiritual way towards holiness, and that we should really take seriously that family is a gospel, something that reveals God's face. In the World Meeting of Families, Bishop Fr.Brian talked about family in terms of a school of virtue, where we learn to want to consistently do good for the other. And that the bond of love which carries that school of virtues enables us to create a culture which is based on family. Secondly, also in the World Meeting of Families, we had Cardinal Tangley, who talked about the effects of the throwaway society on family and on our society, and that we should find our worthiness and our worthwhileness within the context of what family is. The Holy Father tells us family is a spiritual way. Family is a spirituality. How I become holy. I need look no further than within my own family, my spouse, my children. They help me to grow in holiness, and I help them. Secondly, family should be the place where we look at how do we accompany brokenness? How do we help people who are fragile? The Holy Father uses three words. He says accompaniment, discernment, and integration. He says the way of Christ is not about permanently excluding anyone. It has to be about reinstatement and mercy. that each of us finds our place, and that we trust that God will lead us to help to find our way and make decisions that bring us more and more to live His truth. The more we do this, the more it becomes a gospel. It becomes a joy for the world. It becomes a chance that we create, like a lighthouse, light that brings hope. Family teaches generosity. Family teaches joy. Family teaches hope. Family, a school of virtue, which helps us to create a new society based on truth and justice because of the consistent wish to do good. The Holy Father, in giving us Amoris Laetitia, is shining a bright light on the wonderful gift of family and its true significance. A gospel. It's good news about God's plan of love. And family reveals the joyful face of God, the sorrowful passion of God, and also looks forward that our experiences in the grace of God should be transformed, transfigured to the glory of God. There we can be grateful that Pope Francis highlights this and encourages us to follow family as a way to be anchored in the heart of God. When we look at Amoris Laetitia and what is Pope Francis's concrete invitation to families, how do you be a gospel of the family? How do you reveal something about God's face? How is it that you can be a spiritual way for others? Famously, of course, he repeats often, please, thank you, and sorry. These are words which help to form a culture of how to live together as a family, but also how to grow together. Remember, love does not mean doing you like. Very often, parents live a life of constantly, lovingly correcting their children so that they find the right way. It helps them in becoming a school of virtue. Family is also the possibility of where we learn how to love one another, where we learn how to support one another, where we learn about our faith and how to talk to God in our prayers. And family is also our chance, sitting round the table of shared meals, where we can express how God's love has affected us each time and make our family a gospel of joy.